The movie opens with featuring a young girl named Nika. While on a journey with her parents, they come across a wolf. The sight of the wolf instills fear in Nika, but her mother reassures her, explaining that the portrayal of wolves as villains is merely a construct of fairy tales and does not reflect reality. Upon spotting the wolf, Nika's father becomes distracted and loses control of the vehicle, resulting in a catastrophic accident. Nika is left unconscious on the roadside, with the wolf slowly approaching her. This devastating event leads to the death of her parents, forever altering the course of Nika's life. Armed with nothing more than her mother's butterfly pendant, Nika embarks on a new life in an orphanage. Through Nika's narration, we learn that the children residing there refer to the orphanage as a grave. One of the most cherished bedtime tales in the orphanage is about the Tearsmith, a craftsman who specializes in tears. This story resonates with the children because the orphanage is not a place for open displays of emotion, and the children must learn to cope on their own. In this harsh environment, one must exist like the living dead, concealing their tears and suffering. To feel a sense of life again, individuals turn to the Tearsmith, who has the ability to transform his pearls into tears upon witnessing them. This allows for the release of tears of various emotions, be it sadness, pain, anger, or joy. Upon her entry into the orphanage, Nika is introduced to Margaret, a stern woman who swiftly confiscates her possessions. Margaret enforces a rule that everything must be communal among the inhabitants. Despite Margaret's rules, Nika clings to her necklace, a treasured memento from her mother. However, Margaret disregards her pleas and tasks a boy named Rigel with the duty of seizing it. Amid the bleakness of the orphanage, referred to as the grave, Nika finds comfort in the presence of Adelante, a fellow orphan who becomes her ray of hope in the gloom. Adeline and Nika form a bond of friendship. As Nika matures into her teenage years, she is adopted by a couple, thereby realizing her dream. Nika bids farewell to Adeline and departs, reflecting on the lengthy period she spent in the orphanage, yearning for acceptance and a family, only to be met with disappointment. At last, her dream is becoming a reality, and she is liberated from her torment. A sense of love begins to permeate her new family. Upon hearing the piano, her adoptive parents, Anna and Norman, pause before she departs. The piano is being played by Rigel, the pride of the orphanage, and a favorite among everyone. Rigel is the star, but Nika harbors resentment towards him. Anna and Norman are fond of Rigel, so they decide to take both Nika and Rigel for a trial period. Nika believes her dream is finally coming true, but if there's anyone she doesn't want in her new home, it's Rigel. It takes Nika until the present day to let go of her animosity towards him. They eventually settle into their new home, where they discover that Anna and Norman's son, who was a pianist, had passed away. This could explain their connection with Rigel, who also plays the piano. When Rigel retreats to his room, he experiences a bout of dizziness, prompting him to take some medication. Nika, not wanting any complications with her adoption, confronts Rigel. He assures her that there won't be any issues if she keeps her distance. During dinner, Norman inquires about Nika's relationship with Rigel at the orphanage, to which she responds that they were akin to siblings. Joe Sunak. Rigel echoes her words mockingly while placing his hand on her leg, causing Nika to feel uncomfortable. She excuses herself to the restroom, where she still feels the lingering touch of Rigel, as if he has become a part of her. Nika is inexplicably drawn to him, but she doesn't understand why. Rigel approaches her from behind, which angers Nika. He warns her that her pretense will soon come to an end. One day, Anna and Norman will discover her disdain for Rigel, and everything will fall apart. However, Nika retorts that they will eventually uncover the truth about Rigel. After their exchange, she retreats to her room and attempts to sleep, but the haunting dreams of the orphanage, referred to as the grave, keep her awake. The children were terrified of the Tearsmith and were forbidden to shed tears. If a single tear were to fall from a child's eye, he would be taken away. They receive news from a child that Rigel's health has deteriorated once again. Upon their arrival, they find Margaret tenderly administering his medication. Subsequently, Nika awakens. However, the following day at school, they are struck by a car. Rigel manages to save her, and they carry on. Rigel is the object of every girl's affection, but he disregards them and departs. On her first day, Nika befriends a cat. Before class, Rigel encounters Hot Lionel. Upon overhearing Joe telling his friend that Nika will be in his bed by the following week, Rigel confronts Lionel. Their altercation is halted by a teacher, who reprimands Rigel and sends him home on his first day. When Rigel fails to emerge from his room, Anna becomes concerned and questions Nika, who downplays the situation. She then questions Rigel about their decision to adopt him, given his likable nature. However, Rigel constantly rejects the idea of adoption. When Rigel doesn't respond, Nika attempts to administer his medication, but he refuses. Rigel cautions Nika that if she doesn't heed his warning, he may lose control next time. After he departs, Nika reflects on her belief in fairy tales and her desire for someone else to believe in them too. She realizes that she's trapped in the wrong fairy tale. The following morning, Anna instructs Nika to place Rigel's clothes in his room, where she doesn't find him. She opens the drawer to check, but Rigel arrives, and Nika is startled. She extends an offer of friendship, but Rigel scoffs at Nika's naivety, as she perceives him to be a wolf or a monster that weaves tears. Then it turns out Lionel attempts to flirt with Nika when they are alone. Shortly after, Billy shows up and accompanies Nika. After school, Anna and Norman head out for shopping, while Rigel can't help but admire Nika in her elegant dress. As she changes, Rigel provocatively unzips her dress from behind, which annoys her due to his intense gaze. When she turns around, she finds herself face to face with Nika. The room is empty. Anna encourages Nika to try on a belt with her dress, but the action triggers a wave of nausea in Nika as she recalls the grim dungeon at the Grave and Margaret's oppressive rule. Margaret was well aware of the children's hopes and fears, and she exploited this knowledge to suppress their dreams and instills terror. Nika had once believed that she would perish in that dungeon, but the presence of a comforting hand gave her hope. Nika managed to survive, fueled by this newfound hope. In the present, as Nika comes to, she realizes that she could never reveal to Anna the horrors she endured. However, she is now liberated, content, and no longer lives in fear. Anna informs her that today is Rose Day, a day when children express their affection by gifting roses of various colors. Upon arriving at school, Mickey, her feline companion, presents her with a rose from his locker. Mickey disregards the annual gift from a psychology student. A white rose mysteriously appears in the cat's locker, placed there by an anonymous admirer each year, yet the cat remains oblivious to the identity of the secret admirer. Nika discovers Black Rose in her locker. She admires the rarity and beauty of black roses. Overwhelmed with anger, Nika hastily returns home to confront Rigel, a foreigner who mocks her and expresses his desire to flee to the wolf's den. Rigel gently places Nika on the bed and kisses her when she inquires if he was the one who left the flower. Suddenly, Anna's voice echoes up to Nika. Descending the stairs, she encounters Lionel. From an upstairs window, Rigel observes as Joe invites Nika for a date. However, the inclement weather prompts Nika to head home. Both of them don Lionel's jacket and make their way home amidst the pouring rain. Lionel kisses Nika before leaving, but she rebuffs him. She finds Rigel playing the piano and is drawn to him, deciding to kiss him. As Rigel's health worsens, he dismisses Nika rudely, leaving her confused. At dinner, she ponders over Rigel's emotional control and her unique ability to affect heart rhythms. Later, she discovers a video of Lionel's injury caused by Rigel and confronts a wounded and soaked Rigel in anger. Rigel confesses to Nika that she is the cause of his sorrow before losing consciousness. Nika has a hard time moving him to the room. She departs, leaving Anna and Norman stranded amidst adverse weather conditions. In the room, Nika removes Rigel's soaked clothes. She informs Rigel about his sickness, but remains calm and administers medication before tenderly caressing him. Upon waking, Rigel prevents her from leaving. They share a kiss, begin dating, and Rigel develops a resentment towards Margaret for concealing Nika's locket instead of discarding it, and when Nika was apprehended for conversing with Rigel. To divert all attention to himself and spare Margaret from punishment, Rigel deliberately amputates his hand. Adrian was acutely aware of Rigel's affection for Nika, yet Rigel strictly instructed him not to disclose this to her. Fearing that Nika would spurn him, considering him a monster, Rigel continued to behave in ways that he believed would incite her disdain. However, Nika found herself unable to harbor any resentment towards him, even if she tried. Early this morning, Nika retreated to her room upon hearing the sound of Anna and Norman's car. As Nika was about to depart, Rigel intervened, pulling her into a passionate kiss. The sound of Anna's voice prompted her to regain her composure, and she stood upright. Upon their arrival, they ushered Nika into the room. Lionel attempted to reach out to her through a phone call, but Nika chose not to respond. Rigel and she resumed their pretense of being strangers. Nika evaded Lionel, with Mickey and Kat providing her with their support. After school, Kat and Nika pay a visit to Mickey's residence. It is here that Nika discovers Mickey's billionaire status, a secret she chooses to keep. While Nika is in the restroom, Mickey seizes the opportunity to kiss Kat. This doesn't escape Janika's notice. Mickey confesses that she is a lesbian and harbors feelings for Kat. She has been leaving flowers in her locker annually, but her fear of losing her soul friend prevents her from revealing this to Kat. Instead, she confides in Nika. Then Nika is at the market when Lionel confronts her about her avoidance. Nika admits that she cannot bear any emotional attachment towards him. This provokes Lionel to push her, causing her to drop her shopping bag. The bag contained the last piece of Rigel's birthday gift available in the shop. Overwhelmed with guilt, Nika feels terrible. Lionel questions Nika about her deep concern for Rigel, to which she responds that their shared experiences of pain might have fostered their understanding of each other. Upon Nika's return home, Anna and Norman surprise her with a birthday lunch. Later, Nika shares her unexplained pain with Rigel in his room, where she finds him playing the piano. Rigel opens up about his fear of abandonment. Nika reassures Rigel of her unwavering presence in his life, sealing her promise with a kiss. Retreating to her room, she stumbles upon a video revealing Margaret's punishment, a 6-month isolation from everyone until she encounters her. Adrian is filled with remorse for withholding the truth about Rigel's affection for Nika, fearing that her past would cause her to despise Rigel. Now that she is aware, Nika and Rigel share an intimate night together, finding solace in each other's arms as they drift into a peaceful slumber. The sight of a butterfly necklace captures her attention, leaving her intrigued, and it ends here. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.